Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this vlog we are exploring Big Bend National Park. Big Bend is one of the least visited national parks in the whole country. It is also one of the most underrated national parks. I've been to 26 national parks so far and Big Bend is easily one of my favorites. Join me on this journey while I explore the crown jewel of Texas. We woke up very early and drove for almost 6 hours. We did stop in Del Rio, Texas for breakfast, which was so good. After driving for so long, we made it to the north entrance of the park. We just drove 6 hours and now we just made it to Big Bend National Park. And yes, of course, we had to take our pictures in front of the sign. It has become a tradition when visiting national parks. But our very first stop in the park is the Fossil Discovery Center. It has a nice little trail that overlooks the surrounding desert landscape. And it has an outdoor museum that has fossils of the different dinosaurs that roam the area. Next up is the Panther Junction Visitor Center. This is one of 5 visitor centers in the park. And after visiting the visitor center, we drove to the west side of the park. This is where the Santa Elena Canyon is. There is a lookout spot along the road that has great views of the canyon. There were a lot of bluebonnets this time of the year in late February. For those who don't know, the bluebonnet is a state flower for Texas. After taking our pictures from a distance, we went to the trailhead for the canyon. We just made it to the Santa Elena Canyon Trail. It's about 1.6 miles round trip. We're gonna cross the river. Kind of like, we're not gonna cross the border, but we're gonna cross rivers, continue onto the trail. So the left side of the canyon is literally Mexico, and the right side of the canyon is Texas, USA. As mentioned, this trail is not very long or difficult. With that being said, this is probably the most popular trail in the whole park. So we're in February and the river is like almost dry. Usually we get the river is fed from the snow from the Rockies, but it's February and the snow hasn't melted yet. So this side is Mexico and this side is the USA. We went deeper and deeper into the canyon. I remember first hiking this trail and I couldn't believe that this is in Texas. The canyon is just so massive. For a size reference, check out this piece of canyon wall that fell compared to my family. Then, the trail eventually comes to a dead end. I would love to kayak the Rio Grande River through this canyon someday. We went back to the front of the canyon and decided to set foot in Mexico. We just crossed the border into Mexico. So right behind me is the United States, and I'm now in Mexico. We're just gonna run away and start our new lives. Just kidding. When we went back to the parking lot, we saw a Roadrunner just hanging out. Then we went to our last stop of the day, the Dorgan House. It's the remains of an old house that was abandoned in 1938. We were finally going to our Airbnb right after and it was about an hour away. We checked in, made dinner and s'mores before going to sleep. Good morning everyone, we just woke up. We slept in because we had such a long day yesterday. We woke up at 4 a.m. yesterday, and then we drove all the way from San Antonio here to Big Bend National Park. We did a few things here in the park, and oh my god, my eyes are still bloodshot almost. Yesterday my eyes, when I took out my contacts, they were like bloodshot. I don't know if it's because I was wearing them since 5 a.m. But I didn't get a vlog last night because, like I said, we had a busy day. We got to the campsite, we put everything away, and we had to drive to the showers, which is like an HOA of the campsite, but that was probably like 15 miles away, partially on the paved road, partially on a dirt road. So it did take us a while to get to the showers. So we showered, and then we came back another 15 miles, and then that's when we started to eat. We set up our fire. We made some hamburgers, mushrooms, s'mores. So we ate pretty good last night. We also drank a little bit. I don't really drink that much anymore, as much as I used to. So I had like probably like, I'm ashamed to say I had 2 beers, and then I was already knocked out. I didn't have the best sleep. I was like tossing and turning, and then we were sleeping in like little cots. I'll go ahead and show you in a second. And then like, I think I panicked because I was like super hot, and I hate sweating when I sleep. And I think I tried getting up, and I hit like my wife because it was like bunk cots, I guess. So yeah, I was like, didn't have the best sleep. Today we're gonna go to the east side of the park. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the hot springs, and then we're going to do a few hikes, and then go to Mexico if we can. I have a passport from the military. It's a passport I got for military order, so I'm gonna see if they're going to accept that. My wife, her sister, and their father also have a passport, which should work. Our friend does not have a passport, so he probably won't be able to go with us. If anything, we will let them cross, and then we will see if they can bring us food. But today's going to be a eventful day, but everything that we're doing is going to be like mainly viewpoints and very short hikes. Our first stop at day 2 is the Hot Springs Trail. The trail is technically a loop, but most people just walk to the hot springs, which is only 1/3 of a mile. This trail is super easy. The hot spring sits right next to the cold Rio Grande River. So back in the day, this used to be an actual spa. Now it's just a hot spring, not ran by anyone or any entity. Not too far away is the border crossing to get into the Mexican village of Boquillas del Carmen. You first have to check in at the U.S. Border Patrol building. Now, I didn't record the building and the process because it's illegal under federal law. But once you get to the border, you can wade through the river for free or take a boat for $5 per person. After crossing the river, the village is only half a mile away. And to get there, you can walk for free, take a donkey or truck for $10 or a horse for $15. We all took a donkey to the village. Each group is assigned a guide, and our guide was very nice and he showed us around his village. Then we went to the Jose Falcon restaurant and we sat outside where we had great views of Mexico and the USA. We went back to Big Ben soon because our friend couldn't cross because he did not have a passport, but we got him fresh tamales. We just got back from Mexico. We had a pretty good time. We just had lunch. We got lunch for our friend because he didn't have his passport. We bought a little bit of souvenirs for our family, but that's about it. But overall, it was a pretty good experience. I recommend it 10 out of 10. If you come to Big Ben, you have a passport, definitely do this. We rode the donkeys up, the donkeys back to the river. Now we are going to go to the Boquillas Canyon Trail. It's a different canyon trail here in Big Ben. The Boquillas Canyon is another canyon on the Rio Grande River, but it's on the east side of the park. And the trail is 1.2 miles round trip. This canyon isn't as grand as Santa Elena, but it's still very nice. So the Mexicans that live across the border will make these little arts and crafts right here. And they do have a trust system where you're supposed to give them money. In exchange, you could take one, and they do have the prices on them too. However, if you do buy them in the park, it is actually illegal. but if you buy them in Mexico, it is not illegal. I would recommend this hike as well. There's not a lot of people on it. There's actually way more people at Santa Elena Canyon. I think it is just as nice as Santa Elena Canyon, but it's less crowded. To finish off day 2, we went to hike the Rio Grande Village Nature Trail. This trail is a 1-mile loop trail, another very easy trail with great views. We saw so much wildlife like these cows, which I'm sure belong to the village in Mexico. And we also saw these javelinas too. After walking up a steep hill, we were rewarded with great views of the Rio Grande. We went back to the campsite and had dinner over the campfire again. We got up early the next morning to drive to the park. We are going to the Chisos Mountains to hike the Lost Mine Trail. Good morning, everyone. We just made it to the Lost Mine Trail. Today is our final full day here at Big Bend National Park. We literally had to wait for like 1 hour for parking, so hopefully it's worth it. This hike is about 5 miles round trip. If you're coming to Big Bend and want to do this hike, I recommend coming very early, probably when it's still dark, because there's probably like 15 to 20 parking spots, and this is probably one of the most popular hikes in this park. There's also black bears and mountain lions in the Chisos Mountains, so it's preferred that you don't leave food inside your car. They have bear boxes at the parking for it, but to be honest, it's not going to accommodate everyone who's parking there. The black bear was actually went extinct here in Big Bend for a while, and then some of them ended up migrating back to the mountains, which is a pretty cool story because this is technically the Chihuahua Desert, and it's pretty odd to see bears in the desert. Not only that, but it's pretty odd to see bears in Texas. But what I love the most about this park is that it is the river, the desert, and the mountains. So it's pretty diverse when it comes to scenery. And I truly do believe that this is the most underrated park in the United States. We just made it to the end of the Lost Mine Trail. So we're heading down to our car, and it got pretty hot, but yeah, we're gonna get to the car. Then the plan is that we're gonna go to the visitor center here in the Chisos Mountains, and from there we may do the Balance Rock Trail, then head to town. Also, please don't litter. Some people do it on accident, sometimes it's on purpose, but if you see trash along the trail, please just pick it up, take it with you. Okay, this is the last hike of our trip. We're gonna be hiking to Balance Rock. It's a 2.2 mile hike according to the National Park Service, and the road over here is all dirt road. It's really bumpy, about 6 miles one way. Definitely recommend a high clearance vehicle or 4x4. We are also doing this hike in the middle of the day. It's like 90 degrees out. When we were up in the mountains, it was maybe like high 60s, and now it just dropped down, or went up, I should say, to the 90s. So the elevation does make a difference here. The trail is mostly flat, but I think the last quarter mile is just like scrambling through rocks. But yeah, let's just see this hike and then go get some food in town. This trail actually reminds me of Joshua Tree and Pinnacles National Park in California. They just have like these huge random boulders everywhere. I made it through the flat portion of the trail. Now it's all up from here. After scrambling through a small boulder field, we made it to the Balance Rock. As the name suggests, it's a random huge boulder being held up by 2 other rocks. To end off our day, we had dinner at the Starlight Cafe in the ghost town of Terlingua. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button. I'll see you in the next adventure.